So I inquired about it, and I was told that such a list was there. If it's there, then I haven't seen it, but if it's there, it must have been drawn up by the previous administration.
So are you saying that, are you removing that thing, or are you saying that?
Absolutely, we will remove that.
You will remove this?
Yes, I have asked them if there is something to be removed.
So in that
as far as I know, there is no restriction.
Mr. President, in that case, if former President Nasheed wants to leave the country now, is he free to do that?
He is free to leave as far as I know. As I said, if there are any things that happen in the judiciary, if there is any court order for him to stay, then I'm not aware of it yet. If it's there, then that's their business. I guarantee you I will not interfere with the proceedings of the judiciary. And I will also want to ensure that I don't interfere with the law enforcement with the work of police.
Mr. President, you said that the former president violated the constitution, rule of law, but is it part of the constitution of Maldives that a section of the police can force a president to announce his resignation at gunpoint? Is that not violating the rule of law?
I don't know where you got this information from. My understanding is that he or somebody below him, could be the Minister of Home Affairs, ordered the police to act against the Constitution and the law. This was my understanding. And the police as an institution refused. And they have a right to refuse. It is stated in our Constitution that nobody should order anyone to do something that is illegal against the Constitution or the law. It's also said in our Constitution that no law enforcement agency is required to obey such laws. I believe that the police acted totally and fully constitutionally. So when they refuse to obey the president, I think the president himself must ask why.
But if they get involved in acting against other institutions of government like the MNDF, what about those officers that do not use the Constitution? Would they?
Yeah, I couldn't hear.
Sorry, I'm Bryson Hall from Reuters. Mr. President, if the police actually mutinied against the government and started taking action against it, as was reported in Senior yesterday, would that be under the Constitution as well? And there is information that the military marched the president into his office and he was resigned under pressure. That's according to eyewitnesses. Is that constitutional as well?
You should see events of yesterday morning in a continuum of what happened the night before and before that. If you followed what happened the night before yesterday morning, you will see that peaceful demonstrators have been protesting for the last almost 3 weeks, and then the police were trying to protect them against some government sympathizers who are trying to disrupt the protests. And at that point, orders came against the law to create a vacuum there, to remove the police and to allow confrontation. This was all totally unconstitutional. And the police were forced to move from there. So you have to see how the events progressed, and then make your judgment as to whether something was constitutional or unconstitutional. It is for me, not for me to decide. And the president resigned, and I came in when the Speaker of the Parliament invited me to come in. And as I said, what happened is not something, as a nation, we are not proud of the kinds of things that have happened in the last few weeks. I want to assure all of you, all of our partners, that we will respect the rule of law, we will uphold the Constitution, the executive will not interfere in the legislature, and we will make sure that democracy is consolidated. And that's why it is so important for me to bring all the partners together, political parties together, and form a government of national unity. I want to ensure that the rule of law is upheld, that we move towards 2013 and guarantee a free and fair election according to the Constitution.
Sir, Andrew North from BBC News. You seem very calm. You seem to have everything worked out. It's hard not to believe that there was a plan here. So if this is not a coup, what is it?
There was no plan. I was not prepared at all. I was not prepared at all, especially because President Nasheed did not confide in me on many things. The Vice President is supposed to take over if something happens to the President. He's supposed to be fully prepared all the time. I must admit, I was not fully prepared. As a result, you will see that we have not been able to initially communicate what happened to you effectively. And all kinds of rumors and innuendos are flying around. And this is an example of us not being prepared. Don't you think, as somebody who has worked in international organizations, that I'm aware of the importance of public relations? That if I was preparing for something, if I had a plan, I would also not have a media plan ready for us? So I assure you, there was no plan. I had no idea this was going to happen yesterday. Of course, we all knew the situation was getting worse, that protests were building up, but nobody, I don't think anybody in Maldives expected this to happen yesterday.
Did you have any contacts with the former president beforehand, former President Gayoom, who I understand, we've spoken to him ourselves, is saying he's still keeping his options open about running for office again?
Well, everybody has their, everybody is free in Maldives. If the former President Gayoom wants to run, it's his right. As for President Nasheed, I must admit that we have not had good communication, and he did not involve me in any of the major decisions, particularly with regards to the judiciary. Of course, there have been instances where things were discussed in the cabinet, and as a member of the cabinet, I have provided my advice, but that doesn't mean that I was a close confidant, and so there has been a problem of communication, I must admit.
December mo ko musara ko se bule ad January mo ko musara ko se bule yemi awon dandam mo leni awon Mali wala bor crisis e government fant wadati awon ngam buri kam ne ka wada ne wiru kam coalition bor kuri go start kuram na sauti sarkar hifata fawa an sin so wondunge musara ambura musara hifata fa ba ambura mo na dukuru mo sega mihuri ha kam Mali ko ndum takin huri ruga man fan ekan kam awle singiyat Mali wazir vis nekkan hindas man fan ko wistum flori kina to rajitun don fan devan umeda ki mer korige musara ni hifata fa den sarkaram ben wa kan take kuram ngendi on to noni musara de wagen ane rajitun nge lifawa gendum fu badda de wagen ko revon to kina to man fan ko Mali siyas komisar kan hameikani musara de funga battan ko devan
Nikam ka mihara oni hewani hukuma wese boying hai de ehmi ma garu gotum kuranje he kam tak agun Qur'ana mi musara din ga wes agunda insa got ga agun mihar kuranje fai kame emi rad kurbiya ekan emi awha agun kurbe gote bala agun kan Qur'an